Hi, everyone. It's Sharna. This is the final part of a 3-part documentary series that tells the story of the first year of building a brand new tango community in Long Beach, California. If you missed episode 1 or 2, you'll definitely want to go back and listen to them in order. And if you're ready for episode 3, welcome back and enjoy. The Tango Waits For You, episode 3, Community.
I just love the magic of tango, the music and the movement, the dance connection. Everything is just a little bit magical.
Our first class at the yacht club back in November had just 4 students and me. By May, after we'd moved to Alter Society, it wasn't uncommon for 20 people to show up for class. You just heard from Elena, one of our new regulars. As our numbers grew, the skill gap between new beginners and regular students became too big to ignore. The way most teachers handle this is to offer consecutive classes in the same evening, usually beginners first and then intermediates. But we couldn't do that if we wanted to keep our tango and pizza format and the magical community building benefits that came with it. There just wasn't enough time. I realized that the only way it could work would be if we could somehow teach those 2 classes at the same time, and then bring everyone together for drinks afterward. Because the Alter space is so big, we had plenty of extra space to teach those 2 classes, but I was only one person. We needed more teachers. Really, we needed a teaching team, so that we could rotate and help each other and take turns, and so that most of all, none of those angel helpers would feel overextended. I needed everyone to keep feeling good about the time they were giving to this project. The first person I asked to join the team was my friend Megan from episode 2.
The big secret to organizing the unglamorous thing that makes it work is like showing up to the same place at the same time over a long period of time. You can't really build a tango class or a tango community in like a few weeks. You also can't learn tango that fast. And it's sometimes like a secret we keep from people that it's quite a long learning curve, because you don't want people to be like, oh, it'll be 3 years before. I mean, maybe not quite that long for some people. But I do think it can take like a whole year of showing up and not being too attached to how many people are there, just that there are people there.
I had always known that if I really wanted to raise a sustainable dance community, I had to think not only about teaching new dancers, but also teaching new teachers. More teachers means more students, means more dancers. And I love teaching new teachers. I just didn't think I'd be doing it so soon. Here's Kalea, one of those newer teachers.
Yeah, so I took this class of, I think it was 12 people. And I basically led a beginner class on my own with Alice's help, which was great. That was a lot of responsibility, and I really enjoyed it. And it's so rewarding to see how quickly the human body can adapt to strange or uncomfortable things because they're just new. But seeing like within the hour how the complete beginners were basically walking together was just really rewarding and, really motivated me.
I was able to add a few more angel helper teachers to the schedule, and in June, we started offering simultaneous classes every week. It was a game changer. Here's Jubin.
I'd say 2 or 3 lessons ago, I noticed that all of us, like original beginners, have significantly improved. Yeah, we had a couple of times where I was dancing with the older people. It's like, oh my God, those are really nice ochas. I need to dance with you. Or there's so much I can get out of this. It's just nice. It was completely different. Like, yeah, we've kind of improved a little bit separately now. At least that's how it felt like. Where I wasn't as aware where everybody was anymore. And yeah, those are really nice feeling just to like, okay, we kind of know what we're doing.
Separating the brand new beginners from more experienced students meant that we could provide better instruction to both groups and everyone could make more steady progress. It still wasn't the same as an enrolled progressive class, but it was definitely a huge improvement. Here's Paolo.
I'm happy to report that I'm not a level 0 anymore. what that means is I feel like that I have a little bit to contribute and help people out, people that maybe have done it just a couple of times, like the timing or being a little leading with be more precise with the inputs and the timing things. I mean, nothing advanced because I'm not advanced, but they do a couple of adjustments, and then we have maybe a few seconds that looks like dancing, and then after the dancing at the pizza parties, oh, that was the best moment of the day. Was we were able to do that, and I've been told you're a good dancer, good leader, which is clearly not true, but that's something you write down and say, somebody told me this phrase. I'm a software engineer, but somebody told me this phrase, and you treasure that phrase.
Because tango is a community art form and takes shape a bit differently on every person who learns it, there is something intrinsically valuable about learning the dance from multiple teachers. Here's Karen.
I think that's been very helpful for learning and just in having different groupings of the same students. I can see myself learning some things again that I needed to learn again, like that instilling of the basic skills, and some things I can build on. So in one example, I can think of a teacher that hadn't been there for a while coming back and hadn't really seen us dancing since we were dancing in Paolo's living room maybe. And coming in and saying, okay, well, here's how you can extend this same move. So like the playing with tempo in a way and like just, gliding your leg in slowly made every possible action we learned have more ways of doing it.
I have to add here how proud and delighted I was to hear that Paolo and Karen were planning to perform a tango for Paolo's family while visiting them in Italy in July.
It was both terrifying and adorable. Then there was this buildup, and I really focused on learning the following role more than learning both roles for a while. And I'm still kind of catching up from that. But I felt like this pressure to like, oh, I've got to make this look good. Not because I was being scrutinized, but because this was something really new. Paolo had never been a dancer before. Like that his family is seeing him learn to be a dancer is probably something they really like, but is also a little bit strange and new for them. So I wanted to make sure that that we were worthy of the performance in a way that we showed we'd been learning something.
There are 3 kinds of learning that everyone needs to become a successful social dancer. The first one is group learning, like a class. The second one is one-to-one learning, like receiving direct feedback or entire private lessons. And the third one is peer-to-peer learning, or open practice time. Once we had 2 classes going at once, I started thinking about how I might provide these other ways of learning to help the regulars progress in their dancing a little bit faster. In the end, I decided to schedule an open practice session, what tango dancers call a práctica, with at least one teacher available to answer questions. It was a combination of peer learning and one-to-one learning. I scheduled it not on a Wednesday, but on a Monday, which is another night that Alter Space often sits unused. Here's Dylan, one of our new regulars.
Some ways I liked it maybe a little more because now it's just like, yeah, you learn stuff in a class, but it's like, okay, if you're just doing the dance, this is like, yeah, I guess just jumping into a pool, even though you might not know how to swim, but okay, at least you're doing it like this is what it's supposed to be, right? Like this is what I'm practicing for is this. I don't know, it almost feels like some ways I learned stuff just from doing that.
A few of my LA tango friends came down to help, and for our first practica, 15 of the new students showed up. We made the rounds offering feedback.
It was a lot of fun. It's starting to feel more like I'm dancing now. I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling comfortable enough where I'm not literally thinking of every single little thing I'm doing. And yeah, I'm not exactly a self-conscious person, but at the same time, I feel, especially like leading, I'm really focused. Okay, every little thing, I need to do it this way. Actually, even following, like I'm thinking more about like, okay, stay more on my toes. But yeah, there's a lot less that I feel like I need to think. I can actually relax and enjoy it a bit more. And then just like the movement, like I'm getting to the point where I can actually appreciate other people's movement and how, just the interaction. It's nice. Yeah.
Here's Rosie.
So I was excited for it for sure. And then I was kind of like, wait, if we're not getting like instruction, how is this going to go? What exactly will happen? Will I dance? Will I be able to do anything? And then the actual experience was super fun. There was some level of relaxing, even though I also still got instruction. And there was like moments of some fluidity and, accomplishment and lots of laughing, at least on my part. And it's just an easier banter with, everyone, especially like with the experts, walking amongst us and or with us. More of that attention was actually helpful, to actually have that. And it just turned out to be really fun, a much more fun experience. And then like solidifying what I have learned and what my body's starting to remember.
We started holding monthly practicas on available Mondays, and it was indeed filling in some of the gaps. In this group, made up of mostly regular students, I noticed that the community connections were starting to extend beyond altar society. Over drinks, people were talking about work challenges and life decisions that mattered to them, and exchanging contact information.
It's more like people are aware of each other and kind of watching out for each other. Paolo and Karen are off to Italy. I'm going to happily stop by their house every once in a while to make sure everything's okay. It was Marissa's birthday 2 weeks ago. We had a nice little party where a bunch of us got together. Marissa and Karen are going to go see Swan Lake together. Elena did this little, I think they're called micro. She has a little art display outside of her house. They're like these mini art displays. And she inspired Karen to do the same. And now they're giving advice to each other. And there's a lot of little things that go way beyond tango that people are taking care of each other and doing things. And it's more all these little interactions that kind of make it feel like a community.
This is Elena, who Jubin just mentioned.
Something was different, and I can't really put it into words necessarily. Something that's different about the group. And I think it really came into focus for me when I was about to leave Google and I needed to make a decision, and the group became my therapy session for that night, and I just kind of opened up about my doubts and worries, and people were very real about it. And I think that's when I realized what was different is just I think that people were so real. Like Karen, she was saying, "Oh, if you quit and then you really are in trouble, I have a back house that you can rent." And I just never had experienced people to be so being willing to make it more than just, oh, we just have an evening class. Like, we can be in each other's lives and we can have a real kind of connection, even if we don't know each other for that long.
In addition to helping with everyday tasks like moving boxes or pet sitting, there were some less obvious personal benefits as well. Here's Carrie, one of my only friends in LA who was not a tango dancer when I met her.
Yeah, I feel like a few months ago, Jubin reached out to me, how are you doing? Because I wasn't coming and wasn't staying, and about my long COVID. And he's like, I'm going to ask some of my friends in the industry if there's any research or treatments about this, which he did, which is really nice for someone that I've literally known 4 months, or something. Well, now a little bit longer, but at the time, I'm this is very extra to go above and beyond. Let me ask my friends, or my people that I know work in that.
And aside from the wonderful ways people were helping each other with life and work outside of class, It's also true that the dancing and the social time was proving valuable in and of itself. Here's Zarin.
As I said, I mean, I really like this class a lot. It definitely has helped me out in a sense where, as I said, it kind of feels like family, so that's a big part. It's giving me a little bit more confidence, just being able to be present and kind of not really overthinking. You're just dancing. And that's kind of been a big helpful tool. When you're meeting new people, you're just talking.
Here's Dylan.
At least at this point in my life, I'm trying to just do things that are outside of my comfort zone. Because like usually what I would do on a Wednesday is like I just get home from work and do like my usual workout routine and stuff. So this kind of just switches it up. I'm a single guy that lives by himself. So like if I don't go out and try to socialize, like it will literally not happen. So it's like, okay, well, might be honestly sometimes weird because I might not know people, but it's still like, well, the opposite of this is just sitting in my apartment by myself. So it's like, okay, it's either like, where is that really what I want to do?
In episode 1, I talked about leaving the DC tango community that I helped build, and how these past 7 years I've felt disconnected from the magical, energetic flow that a tango community generates. It's true I was on the receiving end of many, many incredible acts of giving during my years in DC, the height of my tango career. Studio space, sound equipment, endless volunteer hours to run events. But receiving was stressful for me then, and I couldn't enjoy it. In my mind, every gift needed to be returned in order to be fair. I didn't realize it at the time, but that kind of transactional thinking is probably what ultimately burned me out. Watching these new tango students bring their enthusiasm, their friendship and kindness to move tables or help a new beginner, experiencing the generosity of altar staff, seeing friends brave LA traffic to teach with me, all of this confirmed a very important lesson: that giving freely requires receiving freely, and that there is joy and deep connection in this flow. We live in a time where every aspect of our lives, down to our most intimate relationships, is being monetized and made into a transaction. Giving, and especially receiving, which makes giving possible, is an antidote to this isolating and dehumanizing trend. Just like leading and following, giving and receiving creates a kind of energetic field that holds everyone. That's what I think happens in the healthiest of tango communities, and what I was now seeing begin to happen in real time in our Long Beach tango group. We were creating an energetic field together. When I interviewed Long Beach tango dancers for this series, I did not ask about community. But as you've heard, they brought it up on their own, that there was something real and caring about the people who were drawn to Wednesday nights. They used words like community and connection. Even as beginners, they felt the field intuitively.
I just think it's going to help a lot of people for various reasons that we've discussed. I mean, you don't know what people are going through when they come to something, and a lot of times, that you leave feeling, inspired, and it's laughing is. It's just the best. Sometimes that's the only time I go out, and I feel satisfied when I've left. It's like I don't need to search for anything else this week. I had my fun. So
yeah, the sense of community or something. And then like this Altar Society is a brewery, but also has this coffee shop. And then you see the same people, and it's like it's weird because I don't think I've ever really looked for a sense of community, but then almost feeling, oh, here is a community actually.
So one of the relatively new people last week at dance, as we walked in, it's like, it's my favorite people. And usually that would seem not very sincere, but I think it was. I really think it was. This is someone who sort of fit into the group right away, blended in, fits into the discussion, leads discussion, has also drawn support from the group, sort of talking through difficult things that happen in life and in work and big transitions. And I think they're fitting in. I think you'd have to ask them, but I see people as being welcomed and showing that they feel welcome. It seems impossible that it was only a year ago that we started doing this. I think because those connections they feel deeper than usually meeting folks through a common interest. over the course of a year. So I think it's worked for community, right? I think like that was always the goal. Tango was in a very strange way an add-on, but a good add-on. And it's worked both for Tango and for community.
The title of this documentary series is a quote from Anibal Troilo, one of the most celebrated tango orchestra leaders of the Golden Age. El tango te espera. The tango waits for you. I named it that because as I started teaching again this year, I felt everything come back to me. The love for the dance form itself, the thrill of connecting with a partner, as Elena said, the magic of it, and all the unexpected blessings that come from being connected in community. I thought I would never have that in my life again. And here it was, materializing right before my eyes. The tango had been waiting for me all along. The final step of raising a tango community is hosting a Milonga, a formal tango social dance event. Hosting a Milonga also feels like a proof of concept for truly making tango happen in the city of Long Beach, a way to put ourselves on the map within the greater Los Angeles tango scene and invite dancers from all around the city to connect in this beautiful space. I really wanted all the new students to see what they were working toward, where this was all going. It also seemed like the perfect way to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So I want to close this series with an invitation. If you're in LA on Monday, November 3rd, I invite you to join us for the very first Altar Milonga, Night of Spirits. The theme is a nod to Long Beach's most celebrated holiday, El Día de los Muertos. We'll honor our tango ancestors, both known and unknown, and dance through the veil between worlds. Details are in the show notes. In reality, every Milonga is a dance with the ancestors. We dance to the recordings of musicians long since passed, to the echoes of epic embraces and of countless steps taken before us. Tango spirits float among us around the dance floor. To my tango family, whether we ever meet in person on the dance floor or not, know that we are still connected through this incredible tradition and through its magical, global, and intergenerational community. The tango waits for you. Special thanks to all the members of the Long Beach Tango community for their contributions to this story. You can find our schedule and free tango resources for teachers and organizers on my website, sharnafabiano.com/tango. Thanks to Glover Gill for providing music for this podcast. Thanks to Sachin Mehta for editorial support. And a huge thank you to Altar Society for their generous partnership. Altar is a craft brew pub, coffee roaster, and event space occupying a former Masonic temple in the heart of downtown Long Beach. Many vintage details of the building have been preserved, including the arched painted ceilings and ornate light fixtures. The original wood floors, exposed brick, and visible piping give the space an unfinished industrial loft aesthetic. If you are looking for a unique and elegant event space in Southern California, please reach out to Mike Coakley, General Manager, or join us for Tango and Pizza on Wednesday nights. You'll find contact information in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode or felt inspired by the story, please consider joining the Lead and Follow fan club with a contribution of as little as $3 a month. Your support really does make a difference,